One of the most common things we hear at West Chiropractic is this. It's not painful, it's just stiff. And that sentence is the exact reason people lose their movement without even realizing it. We get into our 30s, life gets busy, get into our 40s, life gets even busier. Because stiffness, it's not just harmless, it's your body's early warning system that movement is slowly becoming less efficient. So if this sounds familiar, then drop us a DM after you watch this video, because catching this early is far easier than fixing it later. We have a motto here at West Chiropractic that prevention is better than cure. It's really important that you're proactive rather than reactive. I'm going to show you what we've done with our 10,000 clients over the last 8 years across 3 clinics to allow us to be the most recommended chiropractor in Google that gets them great results to ensure they don't need us in the long run. How can this sort of stuff show up in real life? And you might recognize this yourself. So when you put your socks on a little more carefully than you used to, if you're finding that you're moaning and groaning when you're doing that. Number 2 is you avoid sitting on the floor because getting back up is awkward. If you found that tidying up the kids' toys or grandkids' toys or picking them up off the floor is more difficult, this could be an early warning sign as well. Number 3, you feel stiff first thing in the morning or after sitting at your desk. So you're finding that you're moaning and groaning after sitting for long periods. It's not painful. Key thing, it's not painful. It's just different, and it feels different through your whole body. Last week, I was actually chatting to a parent here. They're in their 50s, they've got grown-up kids now, and he was telling me, he was like, I thought that feeling stiff every morning was normal until I realized that I couldn't play on the floor with some of my grandkids without discomfort. And I thought, that's so interesting. How old are your grandkids? And he said to me, they're 2 and they're 4, and they do a lot of stuff, obviously drawing on the floor, playing with toys, mess everywhere, and they're over there. And he was telling me that he basically used to be fine getting down on the floor with them, but over the last sort of couple of years, he found it more difficult. And it wasn't until we started chatting that I said, what was it you used to be able to do that you can't do now? And these are one of the things. And he's not in pain. He still plays a lot of golf, he still goes out walking, still works, a full week and is able to do what he needs to do. But these are some of the key indicators that the joints might be starting to stiff up. And I think, particularly in the UK, we think that's just a given as we get older, but it doesn't have to be. So this is how movement disappears, not through injury, but through quiet avoidance. If we ignore it, then it does start to disappear. So the Love Your Spine Movement Challenge this February is exactly why we launched it. So we want to get you to fall back in love with the simple movements, not for perfect movement, but to remind you exactly what you should feel like. So if we go back to my friend, the parent and the grandparent, who's in his mid-50s with the 2 and the 4-year-old, he was saying we gave him some very simple exercises to do, which you can see in the further videos, I'll link them to you. He was telling us that it was so simple to just get back to doing things like lunging, squatting, and he actually enjoyed then doing these because it made the rest of his day so much easier. Getting out of the car, getting up from a desk, getting up in the mornings, promoted the movement, and it's a perpetual cycle that starts to increase positivity in all aspects of your life. We've also realized we've seen people that can now tie their shoes without holding onto a chair, rotating properly to reach a high shelf, parents balancing more confidently when playing with their kids in the playground and getting them up in the mornings. These are small wins, but they add up to big confidence in your life, and that can be for the long term as well. So when it's not painful, it doesn't mean it's not a problem. So if this sounds like you, drop us a DM and we can send you some more information on how we can help. So you don't need to be broken. You don't need to be in pain, any sort of pain. You just need awareness. And when you have awareness, that is so key, because stiffness is often the first sign that your body is asking for help. It is a warning sign, albeit very quiet. So if you're noticing it creeping in, drop us a DM, get involved in the movement challenge. Sometimes the biggest changes start with one simple check and one small conversation to guide you in the right direction. That's real progress.